Alright, mates, got my Sherco here. Couple different things we did to it. Just wanted to update you. It's been a great bike. Got a couple more hours on it than my buddy's KTM, so I'm winning. He crashed into me the other day. Knocked my little thingy off. My license plate mount, but that's okay. What else have I done to this thing? So, I've been riding it most of the season with no fork oil in it. Leaked out. Just kept pushing it. Was bottoming out on the moto track. And just hitting hard on the front end. You know, clunking, sticking, all the above. It was terrible. But I did that all season. So, I really learned how to ride this thing with no fork oil in it. Sorry, I'm shivering. It's cold out here. Wish my little heater worked. I rode it with no fork oil the majority of the time this year, so really taking some big hits on the front end for sure. I did initially adjust it, the forks to one higher setting than this, so the gap here is smaller. I had it higher and the forks were raised and the triple clamps for handling. Went to Mississippi and it was definitely beneficial to raise that up on my first ride on this bike, getting used to it. Dented this a little wee bit, laid it over a couple good times. Got a new rear tire. Did a couple tube changes. Got one of those Baja no pinch things. Worked real good. Been to Silver Lake this year. Lots of trips to Everett. So, best place to ride in Michigan, in my opinion. Couple cool things. I just redid the fork seals here. I didn't actually change out the seal. All I did was remove the dust seals and all the components and whatnot. Remove the forks. I do have a couple tools here that I used. I'll show you. This little Amazon tool, maybe $10. And then this little guy, maybe $5 for the finishing dirt. That got the majority of nasty stuff out. It started puking out oil. Really nasty gray stuff. That's what fork oil I put in it. It's whatever the shop recommended. It's probably wrong, but it's what I did. Did 345 cc's. Was it cc's or milliliters? Yeah, cc's. 345 cc's. I think that's what they called for. So got that going. And I cleaned everything out. I ran a little bit of clean oil through there with some seafoam. Clean everything out. It's probably the opposite of what I'm supposed to do for my forks, but I did it. And they're holding oil, so ready to bash again. Adjusted the clickers a little bit in the rear. Not real familiar with suspension settings and whatnot, but God, I've done so much research on these things. So hopefully someday it'll just click like the clickers and I'll understand what's going on with my suspension, rebound and dampening and whatnot. It was pretty bouncy in the rear end. Everyone laughs at me. All my friends are like, "You're so bouncy, but you're fast." I'm just joking. I'm slow. Trying to slow down the rear end. It's been bouncy. Shiny KTM parts. Don't actually have a recluse. It's just the clutch. It's just the clutch plates and cover. It holds a little more capacity. And I guess these are known for faulty clutch plates from the factory, so they were replaced. I did do the ice method on the header. Worked out relatively well. It did split at the welds exactly like everyone warned me about. But that's okay, because I will upload pictures in the comments of how terrible and smashed it was when I purchased this bike from, where was it? Pennsylvania. He said they had nothing but rocks, and man, was that pipe dinged up. So I got it off to the weld shop now. Hopefully getting it taken care of. No issues there. I froze it. It took 3 different freezing processes. It does work. Just, you know, you gotta give it faith and time. It will work. Didn't have to pay any money, so that's kind of nice. Maybe $5-10 for the weld. Got the exhaust pipe all figured out. So got the front forks figured out, slowing down the rear end. I did replace this radiator fan with a much larger radiator fan. It had the same hookups and whatnot. It does not work. So I have a friend with the original sized one. Hopefully we're going to swap it out, sell this one. I don't know, do something. It's larger, same connections, just doesn't kick on. He thought it might be my thermostat, like sensor or something, but I think it's just that fan. Maybe the settings are different, but haven't used it, hasn't kicked on, so I don't think it's, you know, electronically connecting. The previous owner did remove the overflow. No one I've known has ever overheated a Sherco. So all these extras, a bunch of people take them off, but that's what happened. I'll go through a quick build and overview of this bike. I haven't put any parts on this bike other than this rear tire, maybe a tube, radiator fan, some fork oil, changed the gear oil twice, maybe some brake pads here and there. But previous owner, Enduro Engineering, guards, did a few KTM things here. I heard they were problematic in the rear. I don't have the rubbing issue that everyone else seems to have. Maybe he bent that out before it was a problem. I don't know. Definitely had my pipe issues, smashing and not sealing because it was so smashed. It was kind of cockeyed. Put it back on. It was straighter than an arrow. Couldn't believe it. The ice method worked. Put a wild air filter in here. Oh, geez, she's dirty. Got a wild air filter. Been a while since I cleaned it. And I think our next trip is Mississippi again. I messed with the levers. Previous owner took the headlights off, added them back on. Like I say, I adjusted the forks up a little bit, so hopefully that's all good. And bleed the air out. Do have a heated grip set up. It's not mounted properly. Zip tie, but that's how it goes sometimes. Does the trick for sure. All my friends be getting cold hands, being wet and such. Not I. Gotta love that installation of the seat with one hand. Does have a KTM seat height, seat foam on it. Previous owner was a KTM dude. Put KTM bars on it, so doesn't feel like a Sherco. Feels like a weird KTM moto hybrid. He did put a factory connection suspension. Springs, just springs and valving, according to, I think it was only like 10 or 15 pounds lighter than the original spring ratings. Have yet to get an aftermarket head. Probably do that during the rebuild. I think I have around 90 hours on it. We'll confirm. $95. Whew. Lots of miles. So, last time we rode, 28 miles. Quick little jaunt. That's the map switch there. Some KTM number. Got some aftermarket guards. I do have a weird little tether there. An aftermarket skid plate that covers the rear linkage guard. What else? I think that's about it. Holding oil in the forks. That's awesome. It's been a sweet bike. Super fast. No issues, honestly. Just, you know, put 50 hours on it this year, so lots of maintenance. Ready for a new front tire. Rode with some guys from the Michigan Trail Riders, and they all had ice bikes and were much faster, and A and B riders, and definitely made me want to spike up before I go out in the snow again. It doesn't have a spark arrestor. I've been to Silver Lake multiple times with it. Just leave the headlight on. I don't think they really question it. We'll see this year. I know a lot of people are replacing the end caps with like an Enduro Engineering or some brand that has a spark arrestor built into it. So, plans for the bike: ride the piss out of it. My plan. Just keep riding it. Got about 50 hours on it. Man, it's just incredible. Like, the one finger clutching is just incredible. It does have two springs removed from the other side of the clutch to make it super soft. I mean, this thing, just listen to it. Carpal tunnel. I literally cannot squeeze that with one finger. Very difficult with two. Okay with three fingers, but that old Honda pull lever, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Ain't got nothing on that Brembo, babe. We can pull that with a pinky, probably. Nothing like nowadays.